each other to not want to like, what is the intention of the relationship? And we're here to have more love, to better connection. And so how do we do that? We communicate, we listen to each other, we take care of each other.
Yeah.
And so I to me, that's the key right there. So I see it so important because I've had so many relationships in which I wasn't that version of myself, that I would care to listen, that I so many times in my life I wanted to be right, and I like to be right. I fucking love being right.
Who doesn't like to? I was like, who doesn't like to be right?
Who doesn't like to be right? Yeah, I like to fucking be right. I want to be right. I want everything to be coming out of my mouth to be like the fucking spot on, really good, to sound great, to be, for me to like look the best, right? I want to look good.
Yeah.
But in that looking good, I may leave someone looking bad. Yeah. And I'm not trying to. If I look back on like who I really want to be in the world, I'm not trying to look anyone look bad. That's not the goal.
Right. Especially someone you're trying to have a relationship with.
Correct.
Like.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you would want.
That's the last thing. You know, I'm not trying to make anybody wrong here.
Yeah.
But sometimes it may come off if I'm trying to make someone wrong because I like to be right.
Yeah.
So a really great cue or something that one of my coaches gave me was try for 1 week letting go of being right. And I was like, ooh, let me practice that one. And so it's like in that moment that I finished that call, it's like 9:00, we're finishing the call. And at like 9:30, I'm sitting outside talking to my roommate. And she's telling me a story about her day. And she was just like, I would consider it back then, it would be like she's bitching about her day.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just be like, oh, this girl's fucking bitching, and she's again being all negative, and I'm being right in that moment. And I just had to, that moment, that realization, like, ooh, I'm having a judgment. That judgment is I am right that she's being negative and whiny. I was like, I'm gonna drop that. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry that you had a really difficult day. And that just like opened up like a moment. Instead of me going like, oh, why are you being so negative or whatever, I was like, wow, yeah, I see that you had a really frustrating experience with this person. I'm not right. I'm just simply stating what you just told me. And in that moment, she's like, yeah, wow, it was so hard, but and it opened up a whole new conversation by just me saying, oh, I'm not right here. Whatever was going on before, it was not. It's me trying to be right.
Well, and there's no, in that situation, what is being right? There's no right or wrong in that situation anyway.
No, but I was trying to be right by saying she's negative.
It was he was right. He was proving himself right.
I was trying to prove myself right. There's no right in this situation, but I would want to be right that she is negative, that she is whiny, that she is whatever, and I am over here, I get to be right. I get to be, winning, whatever, and she gets to be wrong.
Yeah.
But look at how beautiful it was when you were like, oh, I don't need to be right.
No.
And you guys had this whole conversation.
Changed, right?
Game changer.
Game changer.
Don't be right for a week. I like that.
Try dropping being right for 1 week.
With anyone.
I'm going to throw that in the show notes.
Same.
To anyone who listens, like a challenge, like try not being right.
Yeah, for sure.
Happens.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's a hard one to do because we're walking around like, for example, when a person's talking and they are telling you an awesome story and you're like, ooh, I got something awesome to tell them about their story.
Yeah, and you're thinking about your response more than
that's one of us. That's any of us being right.
Yeah.
So if we just go like, oh, got it, thank you for telling me, that's it. If we just drop it like, well, I had so many awesome things to tell her about her story and then the story about mine and da-da-da-da. Just see what happens there.
It's not all about you.
Yeah, and you want to know what's really interesting about that? Some of the people that, and this is a real thing, right? Some of the people that you connect the most with in life, I've had this happen. I don't know shit about them. And the reason is because they're always asking me about me.
And just listening.
And listening.
Yeah.
And because of the inherent need to be seen or the desire to be seen and loved by other people and just have community and be accepted, when those people ask questions and you feel seen by them, the likeness meter, like how much I adore them, just keeps going up.
They want to be around them and respect them.
And you want to be around them, you respect them.
Yep.
And just like you said, from all these relationships then stems everything else that you create in your life.
Absolutely. I mean, it would be so difficult for me to even say, like, to pinpoint which is the step that I took that got me here today. Because it was like, okay, I thought this, and then I shifted, or I moved in a different direction.
Yeah.
And then I met a person, and then that person gave me a something, and then I went in another direction, and it was like right,
Little
left,
crumbs.
and just like continuing to follow the crumbs, the breadcrumbs of the people that I met, or the experiences that I got, or the opportunity that I decided to take, or whatever. Like maybe I raised my hand in a place, and that took me to another place.
That brings up
Fuck, there's so much, man.
That
Like,
brings
it's
up
crazy.
an interesting question. This is so. In doing this, we've realized that people have obviously incredibly different stories,
Mhm.
right? But there's usually similar themes amongst their stories. We learn the same lessons in different ways. Right?
Yeah.
One of the questions that I'm really interested in right now is when was the first time that life said no to you, but it actually turned out to be a yes when you looked at it down the line?
And like a big no, not like, oh, I couldn't go to the baseball game, but like
Yeah,
like something where like you thought like
this was a significant no.
like a wide like fork in your road where it's like this would have been a totally different universe.
Yeah.
Man, that hurts. I just like thinking about it. When I was December of 2008. I was going into my junior year of college, and I got home and I had failed out of I failed that semester, and I'm sitting in my room, and I was a really good swimmer in high school and college. I got a scholarship to go swim in school, and I was one of the best swimmers in the school, and I did poorly that semester, and I was not able to travel for the December training trip that happens in Florida, and it's a fun experience, and I didn't get to go because I failed, and I was injured too, so I was not taking care of myself, not taking care of my school, and man, life told me no. I told myself no. It wasn't life necessarily that told me no, but life showed me, okay, you're not going that direction anymore. I came back to school. I finished that semester. I completely just left the school, and I got into CrossFit, and that was the beginning of my new life. And I thought I was going to continue to swim, and I found a new world in health and fitness, and for those who know me now, that's my world. That is what I do now. I got into, and I wouldn't have met all the people that I know now in this world right now. Wouldn't have met you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be leading the containers that I lead in Austin, with the Power Brotherhood and all the other fitness containers that I'm a part of, had I not shifted and failed out of school and seen that my swimming career was not for me anymore.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
So a second part to that question, if you could go back and not have that happen, like go back and continue down the swimming path, like would you do that and see what that would have been like, or seeing where you are now, are you like, no, I actually like this choice?
Well, I don't have any regrets for sure. I'm very I'm at peace with what has all happened. I've had that is one very small situation, the many that I've gone through, that I put myself through, that are negative situations, bad situations, terrible situations that have gotten me here. So but I would have loved to continue swimming. I had some really big hopes of continuing of being an amazing athlete as a swimmer, and I continued as a CrossFitter, and I did really well. But swimming is my first love, my first passion. I still love swimming more than I love anything else, probably. And I've just recently been thinking about
I did not know that about you. I knew you taught swimming. I did not know.
Yeah.
Can I just say? Okay, the first time I ever did mushrooms was with Wladi, and we went swimming, and we went to this little swimming hole. What was the name of this place?
McKinney Falls.
McKinney Falls.
Great place.
And we get in this water, and I just see what could only be described as like a fucking dolphin amongst mere humans. I like looked around for like 30 seconds. I was like, "Where's Wladi?" And I just see a body flying out of the water.
This Aquaman
Coming
shows
down,
up out of
like-
nowhere.
Like how does he have the momentum to literally make his body
Velocity.
go airborne out of the water, like the way an animal jumps out? It was the most incredible thing I've seen.
Mushrooms are true either way it happened.
Yeah, and then like a minute later, I'm looking around for him, and I see him like a good 50, 60 yards away on the other side, like pop his head out. And I was like, that's incredible. This is incredible.
Are you actually Aquaman? You're Aquaman, aren't you?
So I can back him up. He's an incredible swimmer.
I did not know that. I knew you loved swimming. I didn't
Oh,
know that was a big part of your life.
Yeah, big part of my life. I want to go back to coaching swimming. I at some point down the road, when I'm older, maybe, and I have no aspirations right now and time and energy to put towards that, but I want to continue to swim and compete, do it for fun.
What kind of swimming did you compete in? Was it like relays? Was it like this kind of stuff you see in the Olympics?
Yeah, I did the stuff that you see in the Olympics. My big aspiration was to compete for the national team in Venezuela, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
I moved here when I was 16. I'm 35 now. And one thing led to another, but I continued to swim after that. That I failed out of school. And then I actually got in trouble, so I still learning some lessons. I got a DWI. I swam for one more year after college, and then get out DWI. And then at that moment, I was like, okay, I'm done with swimming. It wasn't that prevented me from me to want to continue because I was about to move to Florida to try to swim with a really famous coach and try to become part of the national team and all that. I had a friend who swam with that team, and he was an Olympian himself and from Venezuela as well. So I was like, oh, I got some support here. Like, I see the possibility. I can make this happen. And then got in trouble, and I couldn't leave the state because I am, I have I had to see like, what's it called? Not parole officer. Probation officer. I had to see a probation officer and all that. So because of that, I stayed here. I quit swimming. I got into CrossFit, and that was a great decision. I'm happy I went through that.
Right.
But that was, all part of that too.
Yeah. It's a great answer. I appreciate it. When was the first time on this same thread of shared experiences amongst humans? When was the first time you did something and you felt like, oh shit, I could do this for like the rest of my life, like forever?
Or for at least a very long time.
It was a long time ago, and I'm still doing it.
And that's
I'm just coaching a thing. I'm guiding a human from A to B.
why does that light you up?
Yeah. Because not everyone is gifted with that desire to like.
Yeah.
And see like they're in this point, and you're like, I want to take you far beyond.
Yeah. I don't like. I mean, I know why it lights me up, but it started with me as a kid watching my swim coach and sitting next to him. I think I just had so much amazing support from coaches in my life, and I just watched them. I mean, as I'm telling this story, like I remember, I'm thinking of all the awesome coaches I've had, and especially back home, like the ones that really instilled the idea of like coaching and supporting kids. And I was just a kid back then, and now I work with adults, but we're all just big kids anyways.
Yeah.
But it was just watching their passion and like their dedication and like how much they put into helping me go from A to B. And I'm like, well, that seems really rewarding. And then I practice it, and I'm like, let me see like if there's something here for me. I feel like that sounds really cool for me to do. And I started to do it. I'm like, oh, this is really fucking awesome. Like I would definitely want to keep doing this. And there's just watching another person like finish an event or doing a thing that makes them really proud, and they finish with a smile, like there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And at times though, have to work with people that don't get to see